part of this virtual moment with you. My name is Pastor Khalis Lemons, and I've been blessed to serve here at New Birth Church as the executive pastor. And on behalf of our senior pastor, Dr. Jamal Bryant, thanks so much for giving us this time to do ministry with you. I'm so excited about what it is that God allows us to do here and who he puts in our space to make a greater impact in the earth. I am blessed by none other than those who are sitting around me. I want them to introduce themselves, and to my right is a wonderful woman of God, a pastor of this house. She actually is the pastor of ministries and outreach, such a pillar to this church. Would you introduce yourself to the world and just say hi to everybody who already know you?
Wow. Thank you, Pastor Lemons. It's a joy to be with you for this conversation.
Yes.
And it's a joy to see everybody on the other side of this live stream. So glad that you joined us today.
I'm excited because today we get an opportunity to engage. I want everyone else to take a moment just to introduce yourselves. Would you please introduce yourselves before our great people?
Absolutely. Thank you, Pastor Lemons. I'm Carrie Pabone, and I oversee the King's Table, our outreach ministry here at New Birth.
Thank you, Carrie. Now, and if you would please introduce yourself for us.
Thank you, Pastor Lemons. I am Jewel Williams, and I oversee our director of New Birth Disaster Relief Team. Thank you so much for having me.
Now, you know, a lot of people may not know this, but you all are the hands and feet of our ministry. You guys really make sure that we get things done, that people are blessed. And I just want to say thank you. If you're watching right now, let's just tell them thank you. Because of their service, because of their helps, and because of their teams, it allows us to be a beacon light in a dark space. But before we get into the real discussion, I want to ask you this question. What was your favorite sermon this year? Favorite sermon, I want to know.
Oh, boy.
Yeah.
There are many.
Okay.
But prospering in the pandemic is number one.
Yeah. Why so?
Even though it's like a bittersweet time that we're in. You know, a lot of suffering, a lot of loved ones lost. But there is still a God that sits high, and he's prospering a lot of people during these times.
Yeah.
Doors are open that we've never seen open before. So that was one of my favorites.
Wow. Yeah. Anyone else?
I would have to say his most recent sermon, Now Is My Time. And for me, it was just a confirmation.
Yeah.
And then not so much a confirmation as it may have been in my past for a new car or a home, but for kingdom work. So
Yeah.
I'm so excited the doors and the gates, as Pastor Stokes and I were just chatting, that are opening for God's people to allow us to go in.
You know, what really blesses me about our church is that we are a kingdom-minded church that is very intentional about working and getting a part of the needs of those who are hurting, those who are in transition. It's nothing but the grace of God that we're not in certain unique situations, but God has found all of us. But it seems like New Birth every week is trying to make a difference in the lives of this community. Now, can we just take a moment just to talk about the food pantry? TKT is a movement of its own. Now, Pastor, I want you to just help me a little bit, Sister Carrie. Look, you received. Did you see that? Did you hear? You said, oh, there, oh, okay.
I heard it.
You heard it.
I heard
Receive
it.
it. Lift up your hands right now. If you want to be a pastor, just take. No, I'm just kidding. Now, Sister Carrie, you oversee the food pantry. How many people do we see on a week-to-week basis?
On a week-to-week basis, collectively, we service over 8,000 people.
Yes.
Collectively, with our partners and the people that come through the King's Table on Saturdays.
Wow, 8,000 people every week.
Every week.
We touch. Now, Pastor Stokes, what's in the boxes? I mean, what are we doing? Probably little snack lunches? Or?
Oh, not snack food.
No.
Come on.
No, what are we
We are
doing?
New Birth.
Okay. Well, tell the people, what is it that we're serving them?
Well, we try to provide a healthy meal for people in a box.
Okay.
Now, they'll have to cook it when they get home.
Okay.
And yes, it might include some snack food.
Yes.
But staples such as proteins, vegetables, fresh fruit.
Yes.
We have dairy products.
Yes.
We have a partnership that provides us with gallons of milk.
Yes.
We've provided almond milk. We have provided fresh nuts and just all sorts of healthy snacks along with the staples of a healthy breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
But I noticed that one week we had fresh salmon.
Yes, we did.
I mean, this is not really a food pantry. I call it really a grocery store. You know, people leaving out with boxes, and they're really being blessed. They're giving it to their neighbors, and there may be somebody who's watching right now. You don't need any food because your pantry is full. But in reality, you know someone that could use this. You know how many students and children have food disparagement and insecurity? But because of what we do collectively together through sacrificial giving, through the financial commitment that God has given you to be a tither and give your offering, we can make a difference. I'm really excited. Now, Sister Jewel, now you aren't in the food pantry ministry, but you serve in our disaster relief ministry. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Essentially, what disaster relief was created to do is to serve those that may be facing a disaster or in a disaster.
Yes.
So essentially, what we will be doing is we will be connecting with the community. We're going to be connecting with the Cobb County Fire Department, partnering with them to help anybody that's in a need from a fire. We've been out to Nashville, Tennessee. We served there in Nashville during their disastrous tornadoes. Talk with the people. We were actually able to serve them. We've actually been able to help one family rebuild their home. We are able to, through the expertise of our team, to help them to get funding that they need that sometimes you cannot get if you don't know how to do the paperwork or what is needed to get necessary paperwork. So disaster relief, we serve anyone. We are just like King's Table. We don't turn away anyone. We will service them because that's what God has commanded us to do, right? We operate in love. And so disaster relief is there to be there for those who are facing a natural disaster of any type at any time.
What gave you the burden to do this? Because you serve in a volunteer capacity, Sister Jewel, and Sister Carrie, you actually started as a volunteer. You know, what was the burden? What was the mission that made you say, I don't have to be on staff to serve? What was that?
Well, my story is I came to New Birth in 2018.
Okay.
And I was a part of the Millionaires Academy. So during that time, I said, I got to put my hands on something. I have a heartbeat for outreach. Yeah. So I scheduled an appointment with Pastor Stokes on something totally different. Yeah. And at the end of the conversation, I asked her an open-ended question. I said, what is the need that you have right now?
Wow.
And as I said before, it's like the Shekinah glory just came upon her face.
What was it? What was it? It was a Shekinah glory. How did it look? How did the Shekinah fall on her? It was her countenance. Okay.
Yeah. So, and it was like illuminating.
Wow.
And she called her team in, and she said, it's the King's Table.
Wow.
And I said, here I am. What you need me to do?
But I have a question. When we started the King's Table, what was our first number? Like, how many people did we serve that day? 30 people?
Right.
30
we
people.
Went from serving about 30 people on a Tuesday night.
Are you serious?
Yes,
yeah.
Before Bible study.
Now, this is the thing, though. This is just a thought. So you're telling me that it started out with 30, but because of the intentionality, because of the prayers, because of the hard work of our hands, God expanded it.
Expanded.
Overnight.
So from January, when the ribbon was cut on the King's Table, when our pastor had declared that it's time to plant, we planted the King's Table in that first month of the year, serving 30 people. And to date, we've served over 92,000 families.
Wait, hold on. I can't steal it, but I'm going to take it for right now. Major key alert. You say 90+ thousand people?
Yes. Over 92,000 families have been blessed through the King's Table.
New Birth.
New Birth.
Hey, listen, we are a church trying to make a difference. We are a church that wants to bring hope. We are pervasive with the hope that we bring. Our pastor delivers an amazing word of God. But I want you to keep in mind that our church is beyond even the moment of preaching. Our pastor's heart is yielded and has a great burden for service. And the service may start out small, but if you stick to it, it'll grow. That's just like a seed. A seed starts out small, but when you get it in the ground and you water that thing starts to grow, and it brings back a harvest in your life like never before. I don't know who I'm speaking to, But whatever seed God has given you, whether it be financial, whether it is a talent, a gift, I want you to put that seed in the ground. I want you to connect to the declaration that Pastor has placed over this house and those that are connected to it, that God can change an entire year in just one day. I want you to do me a favor. I want you to go to our website and I want you to study up on this 365. I want you to get the messages in your spirit that it's your time now. I want you to consider how you could even be a part of the King's Food Table ministry, even if that means coming down to the physical site and serving, or just sending up a prayer. And then I want you to pray about, I want you to hear me, I want you to pray about sowing into this ministry. It's going to be November the 8th, our day of over and above giving. That date is November the 8th. And I want you to partner with us by making a pledge. Lord, I commit a vow and I'm going to keep my vow. And Lord, I believe that if I keep my vow, you're going to open up the windows of heaven and pour out blessings for me. I want you to text NB365 to 71441. The testimony that God has for you has yet to be told. I'm excited about your future. On the behalf of our senior pastor, we got to get out of here. I wish we could stay a little bit longer. But on the behalf of our senior pastor, Dr. Jamal Bryant, Sister Carrie, Sister Jewel, and Pastor Stokes, we thank you for being a part of this moment. Hey, stay connected and let's keep growing in Christ. Talk to you soon.
Hey, want to find out all the happenings going on at New Birth? Well, it's time for your video announcements. It's been such a blessing every single Saturday. New Birth has been able to provide free groceries for over 8,000 people. You know it, it's the King's Table every Saturday from 10 a.m. until 12 noon. Just pull up to the Family Life Center. Everyone is welcome at the King's Table. Our Call to Conquer bookstore is reopening for in-store shopping Saturday from 8 a.m. until 1 p.m. Stop by and pick up our October Book of the Month and other ministry items. We'll see you at the Call to Conquer bookstore. We want you to mark your calendars for Tuesday, October 20th through Thursday, October 22nd. That's right, it's our Vaccination Revival, curing stagnation, nightly at 7:30 p.m. Don't miss Dr. Jerome Glenn.
But you represent the church wherever you go.
Pastor Darius Nixon.
Although I was in his mouth, you did not get me as prey to his teeth.
And Pastor Tolan Morgan.
God often calls you at a time when your life is a complete contradiction to your revelation.
Also, special musical guests is Jacqueline Carr, Stout, and Miranda Curtis. October 20th through the 22nd, nightly online. Don't miss it. And that's gonna do it for today's video announcements.